On today's video, Ford makes a surprising new move that shocks the entire EV industry. Giga Shanghai shuts down its Model 3 production lines for mysterious upgrades, and Model Ys have been shipping with Tesla's new hardware 4 SSD computers in a truly monumental turn of events. Automaking giant Ford Motors has announced that they will be adopting Tesla's proprietary charging connector, the North American Charging Standard, or NACS. In a Twitter Spaces event held on May 25th, Ford CEO Jim Farley joined Tesla CEO Elon Musk to outline the plan for total adoption of the NACS into the Ford fleet of electric vehicles. A surprising announcement that has the potential to turn the entire industry on its head. According to Farley, the plan is to begin providing Ford electric vehicle owners with adapters in early 2024. These adapters will allow the CCS port-equipped Ford vehicles to access every Tesla charging station, not just the ones Tesla is converting for public use. Then by early 2025, Ford says that they will start building their vehicles with the NACS ports as standard, completing their transformation and giving Ford owners unlimited use of the extensive North American charging network operated by Tesla in the United States and Canada. Ford owners will have unprecedented access to the largest network of fast chargers in the United States and Canada, which includes more than 12,000 Tesla superchargers, according to a statement made clearly during the Spaces event. On Tesla's end of the deal, they are reportedly going to be providing Ford with those adapters, and then of course the parts for the ports themselves, but they'll also be giving Ford access to their mobile app API, the code used to operate the Tesla app that owners use to find nearby charge stations. That's some pretty significant support, and it's not hard to see why Tesla is going all out. It's pretty clear that the NACS is the best choice here for starters, as Aptera actually started a petition to get the US Congress to adopt the NACS over the cumbersome CCS connector type. It shouldn't necessarily be a reason to switch, but Tesla has been so successful in North America that their NACS-equipped vehicles outnumber CCS standard vehicles by almost 2 to 1. Additionally, the NACS is about half as big as the bulkier CCS charging head and way more powerful. These are great arguments in favor of switching to Tesla's system, but with incentives, Ford is one of the older automotive companies that was very slow to adopt the electric car, which is ironic considering Henry Ford himself invented an electric car back in 1914, but now that it's pretty clear that the world can't procrastinate on the adoption of the electric car, Tesla has released the specifications of their connector in an effort to encourage more manufacturers to adopt their design, and it seems like it worked with Ford. At least it's pretty easy to see what Ford gets out of this deal. Ford's solution to this issue up to this point has been similar. They independently developed the F-150 Lightning and the Mustang Mach-E, but none of the major corporations gave much thought to developing the charging stations they'd need to replace the system of gas stations that actually make private car ownership a possibility in the first place. This is likely the best choice any company in Ford's position could make. Tesla and the government have spent a lot of money on this problem, and they have also invested heavily in Ford. Ford only needs to invest now that Tesla has completed the infrastructure setup, and we are confident that Ford's payment isn't the most crucial aspect of this agreement from Tesla's perspective. The biggest implication of this deal is that Ford, one of the only significant American automotive companies to survive the Industrial Revolution, is sending a strong message to other businesses that if they don't follow suit or come up with something better, they risk falling behind. The use of the NACS by Ford will probably be what kickstarts Tesla's charging. It's difficult to imagine that other major corporations won't be lining up to make a similar deal after this, leaving the governments of North America stuck with supporting Tesla's charge station infrastructure, making it abundantly clear that this is a huge win for Tesla. China is experiencing something, or more accurately, China is not experiencing anything. Giga Shanghai has ceased manufacturing its Model 3 vehicles. Drone operator Wuo reported that the activity in the Chinese Gigafactory's Phase 1 and 2 production areas had significantly decreased. Although it looks like Phase 2, where the Model Y is built, is still seeing some work. For those wondering, has been reporting on Giga Shanghai since the facility opened, so he would certainly be able to tell if production was decreasing. Now, this didn't exactly come out of nowhere. Reporting from Bloomberg back in February showed that Tesla China was preparing to halt some of the production at Giga Shanghai in order to effect some upgrades. It seems like that was delayed a couple of months, but better late than never. At the time, everyone was thinking that this was a sign that Tesla's secretive project Highland was going to be seeing its debut in China. The Model 3 redesign project has been the subject of some intense scrutiny by the community since information about it leaked in late 2022. Prototypes have been spotted on the roads surrounding the Fremont factory in California for months now. Now, this doesn't mean that this shutdown confirms anything about Project Highland. However, there are a couple of other reasons it's possible that Giga Shanghai will undergo some changes. The team was very eager to present a new philosophy they were about to adopt across all of their manufacturing sites, and it took up a significant portion of Tesla's Investor Day presentation on March 1. This represented a significant shift in how they conduct every aspect of their business, from material procurement to product assembly, something that would undoubtedly necessitate stopping a whole line to make adjustments for, especially given that Tesla makes small changes to its cars almost on a daily basis. Tesla could be pushing these changes out to their other locations, and Shanghai may need updates to do that, but it's very likely that this is all for Project Highland. The Model 3 in particular has undergone a few minor changes so that they could be accepted for tax rebates and grants through the American Inflation Reduction Act. It all lines up a little too well for us to rule out the possibility that the first run of Project Highland could be in China. Regardless of the situation, the initial Bloomberg reports stated that the upgrades wouldn't take more than a few days to complete. Giga Shanghai is one of the most productive Tesla factories operating in the one market that has the most competition for the company. On May 25, pictures appeared on Twitter showing some model-specific shipping from Tesla's Fremont plant in California. Best of luck to the Tesla China team. The Kilowatts and EV review channel on YouTube posted a series of images on their Twitter page showing the new models and comparing the differences between the older Hardware 3 and newer Hardware 4 models. This is by no means unusual, but upon closer inspection it appears that some of the new vehicles were equipped with hardware for self-driving technology. The alleged Hardware 4 model has a larger lens and sits at a slightly wider angle, and the material looks different. Some people are speculating that the new material helps keep the camera clean, or maybe it's a tougher plastic, but we can't tell from the pictures alone. What we can tell from the pictures, however, is that these are the cameras. The Tesla debuted at their Investor Day event back in March. There was a lot of talk during that presentation about how much of an upgrade this new computer is over the older model. But the most important takeaway for us is the extra and updated camera support. Back in February, some specs of prototype hardware for Gear were leaked, which showed, among other things, that the new computer had 12 camera connectors. At the time, folks suspected that the newer model Tesla vehicles were going to be adding cameras to the front and rear bumpers, as that was a noted blind spot for FSD systems. That was before Investor Day swooped in and showed off all that amazing new tech, including the new FSD visualization system, which would be making use of new and improved cameras and the hardware for computer. And to go along with that, the codes for the new hardware have popped up in inventory codes, which is a more solid indication, but we likely wouldn't have known unless the new cameras had been spotted, so that's why we're thinking these Model Ys have the new computers in them. And honestly, it's not impossible. We know that Tesla has been preparing their newer vehicles for the hardware and software updates they told us about during Investor Day. There's been no reports of the newer tech giving better performance just yet, so it's not likely to have the software it needs to run at full capacity yet, especially since Tesla hasn't announced the upgraded hardware. But it probably won't be long. Tesla was really proud of their new tech in the presentations, so they're probably just waiting for something to show it off with before making an official project. If you liked the video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. This is crucial for spreading the word about Tesla Space's content. Thank you so much to all your support.